Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to the 13th and final episode of the classical guitar conversion to steel strung acoustic guitar. Okay, so in the previous episode I was starting to do the setup, the intonation, well not the intonation yet, but the string action. Firstly at the nut, to lower the string action at the nut, and I had lowered them all, although the 5th and the 6th strings I'd lowered too much and they were buzzing, so I had to take the strings out of the slot and put a little drop of super glue in the slot and then some powdered bone to basically fill the slot back in and then recut it. Well, I've redone all that. I did it off camera. And I've cut all of the other slots a little bit more as well, just to get the action at the 1st fret down nice and low, and that all went really well. I also removed the saddle to try and adjust it for intonation, because all of the strings were showing sharp. Now if your strings are showing sharp at the 12th fret, that means your scale length is too short. Sharp means short. So what I did was I took the saddle out, and then the top of the saddle I kind of I filed an angle on it backwards to basically make the scale length a little bit longer. So I just put a little angle on the top of the saddle to sort of push it backwards, as it were, and then use some sandpaper to smooth all the edges so we didn't have any sharp edges, and that did the trick. I knew it would help, but it's pretty much brought all of the intonation almost perfect, to be fair. Definitely well within spec. You know, when you use your tuning app, you've got the sort of the window that's green. You want the needle to be right in the middle, ideally. But so long as it's somewhere in that green window, you're good to go. And they all are. So so I've got the action nice and low at the 1st fret and the 12th fret. Got the action right, and I've got the intonation really good. Now, as you all know, or most of you all know, I can't play guitar. I wish I could, because that would be a fitting end to this project, but looks like a guitar, sounds like a guitar. So I am really happy with how this has turned out. Now, like I said, I did the work with the nut and the saddle off camera, because it's quite a bit of work and a bit fiddly and backwards and forwards and stuff. But like I said, I've got the action and the intonation really good. And incidentally, you've probably seen, I've got the truss rod cover on there as well. I did make another one exactly the same. I made this one. I did make another one exactly the same and engraved my logo on it, but I thought I'll put the blank one on there because we've already got a logo. Saved as. So I thought I better just put the blank one on there. So I've also installed the electrics, so the jack is in there, and I've got the preamp in. Unfortunately I've put a few scratches in the back doing the work on it, but can't be helped, it's just one of those things. A bit disappointed, but there you go. But overall I am really happy with how this guitar has turned out. As I said, it started life as a classical guitar, now it's a steel strung acoustic guitar, and it already had the cutaway, which was nice. Classical guitars don't often have those, as far as I know, and it also already had the electrics in, which was nice. I've still got to tidy up the wires inside, tuck those in a bit, but that should be fine. I'll sort that out. So last thing to do really is to plug and play, or plug and make some noise with it. So I'm just going to plug in the amp, and yes, I did test the electrics before I installed them. So plug in the amp, switch on, get me a pick. And there it is. So that is the end of another epic project. Yeah, so literally all I've got to do is just tidy up the wires inside, try and tuck those in a bit so they're out of the way. Shouldn't be too hard. And that's it, done. It's been quite a long project and it's thrown up some challenges, but like I said, overall I am really happy with this. I'll see if I can buff out these scratches a little bit on the back. Well, you probably can't even see them in this area. I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not. All you're seeing is light reflection, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but like I said, these things happen. It's bound to happen when you're doing this much work, and then, you know, that's why the gloves. So, end of another project, which has been, you know, challenging but enjoyable, and I am really happy with the result, how this thing has turned out. So, that is the end of this project. If you have enjoyed this series, this project, please leave some comments below. Like, share, subscribe, etc, etc. But you know, this is the last one in this last video in this series, this project. So I'd really like some feedback. You know, what are your overall thoughts on this guitar, this project? How it's turned out, you know, the colour, everything else. You know, I'm really happy with it, but I would like to hear comments from some of you to tell me what you think. No negative comments, please, or thumbs down or anything like that. That doesn't help me out. Only positive, if you can, please. Okay, so that's the end of this project. Now, I've ordered some parts to start my next project. They've not arrived yet, but they'll be here in the next couple of days or so. And it's no secret, I've mentioned this before, recently I made an electric guitar for myself. Made it from scratch, apart from the neck, you know, which I bought as a blank and then cut out. And I said that I was also going to make a bass guitar for myself, but a short scale bass. So using one of those standard guitar necks, but cutting the bass headstock out and making it a short scale. Well, I've been giving that some thought, and I was never sure if the intonation would be totally correct. You know, putting bass strings and bass components on an electric guitar neck. I'm sure, because it's just a shorter scale, everything is just kind of squeezed up, I'm sure it would be okay, but I don't know for certain, you know, if the intonation is correct all the way up the fretboard. So I've decided I'm going to make a full scale bass guitar. So I've bought a bass guitar neck, and I've bought some more wood so that I can make the body bigger. I may need one or two other components. I might need to get the neck plate that goes on the back of the body. I do have one, but it's for a standard guitar and it might be too small. So I might need to get that, maybe one or two other bits. But that's going to be my next project, hopefully, unless anything else comes in the meantime. Making myself a full scale, no longer a short scale, a full scale electric bass guitar. And as for colour, originally it was going to be white, not sure at this stage. So that's going to be my next project. I'm really looking forward to getting into that, hope you are too. So please, once again, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, leave some comments please, positive only, thank you very much. In the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.